Commander Ju Park ran her hand along the cold metal wall of the massive ship hidden under Antarctica. For 50 years, the TCS Defiance had been Earth's secret weapon. The ship was huge, almost 2 kilometers long, with weapons that could destroy a small moon. "Status report," she asked, walking onto the bridge where her crew worked quietly at their stations. Lieutenant Hannah looked up from her screen. "All systems normal, Commander. The cloak is still working. The aliens have no idea we're here." "Good," Ju nodded. "Let's keep it that way." The Galactic Hegemony had arrived 6 months ago. Their scout ships had studied Earth for weeks before their leader made contact. They thought humans were primitive, with no space travel beyond their own moon. The Hegemony didn't know that humans had found one of their crashed ships 30 years ago and learned from it. "Commander," called out Officer Doyan from his station, "I'm picking up movement in orbit. Their battle fleet is forming up." Ju frowned. "How many ships?" 23, including their command vessel." She walked to the main viewing screen as it showed the alien ships positioning themselves around Earth. They were sleek and dangerous, much more advanced than anything humans could build, except for the Defiance. "They're broadcasting," Hannah said, "to every frequency and device on Earth." The face of Admiral Tejo appeared on screen. His skin was purple-gray with ridge-like formations where humans would have eyebrows. "People of Earth," he said in perfect English, "your planet is now under the protection of the Galactic Hegemony. Resistance is both futile and unnecessary. We bring advancement and civilization. You will surrender your military capabilities and accept our governors. This is not negotiable." The bridge crew looked at Ju. She straightened her uniform jacket. "Record everything they do," she ordered. "I'm going to speak with the general." In the war room deep within the carrier, General Minsu and representatives from Earth's major powers watched the same broadcast. "They're giving us 48 hours to comply," said the American president. "Can we fight them?" asked China's leader. General Minsu nodded to Ju. "Commander Park has been preparing for this day since she took command of the Defiance." Ju stepped forward. "The Hegemony believes we have no spacefaring capabilities. Their scans can't penetrate our cloaking technology, which we adapted from their own crashed vessel. The Defiance was built with one purpose: to defend Earth against technologically superior forces. 1 ship against 23. Russia's president looked skeptical. "The Defiance isn't an ordinary ship," Ju explained. "We've spent decades combining their technology with human innovation. Our weapons systems, shields, and engines are beyond anything they'll expect, and we have surprise on our side." The meeting continued for hours as they debated their options. In the end, they agreed. Earth would appear to negotiate, while the Defiance prepared to strike. Back on the carrier, Ju addressed her crew of 500 men and women, the best from nations around the world. "All our training has led to this moment," she told them. "The Hegemony thinks we're primitive. They expect us to surrender. Instead, we'll show them what humans can do when backed into a corner." The crew cheered as she outlined their plan. For the next day, the Defiance hummed with activity. Weapons were checked, systems tested, and battle stations assigned. In her quarters, Ju looked at a photo of her grandfather, the scientist who had first studied the alien wreckage. "I hope we make you proud," she whispered. At dawn on the second day, as Earth's leaders pretended to discuss surrender terms, Ju gave the order: "All hands to battle stations. Prepare for emergence." The massive engines of the Defiance powered up, melting the ice above them. The carrier's hull began to glow as it rose through the frozen wasteland. In orbit, Admiral Tejo was growing impatient with the humans stalling when his second-in-command interrupted. "Sir, our sensors are detecting an enormous energy signature from the southern polar region." The ice of Antarctica cracked open as the Supercarrier Defiance burst forth, its engines blazing as it rocketed toward space. The ship was magnificent, black and silver, bristling with weapons, and moving with impossible speed for its size. On the bridge, Juwu felt the familiar pressure as they accelerated. "Communications open," ordered Juwu. "Let's introduce ourselves." As the Defiance cleared the atmosphere, Admiral Taiho's shocked face appeared on their screen. "This is Commander Juwu Park of the Terran carrier ship Defiance," she announced. "Your scans were incomplete, Admiral. Humanity is not as defenseless as you thought. You have 1 hour to leave our solar system." The silence from the alien fleet was deafening. Then all at once, their ships began to turn toward the unexpected threat. "They're powering weapons," Commander reported Doyun. Juwu smiled. "So are we. Shields up. Let's show them what Earth can do." Admiral Taiho stared at his screen in disbelief. The massive human ship rising from Earth's surface should not exist. His reports clearly stated that humans had only achieved primitive space travel. Yet there it was, a warship larger than his command vessel. "Impossible," he whispered. The bridge of his flagship fell silent as the crew watched the Earth vessel accelerate toward them. "Sir, it's moving faster than our interceptors," his tactical officer reported. Taho's shock quickly turned to anger. "This changes nothing. They are still primitives with a stolen ship. All vessels, battle formation. Target that carrier and fire when in range." Aboard the Defiance, Commander Juwu Park watched the alien fleet reposition. 23 warships now formed a crescent, weapons charging. "They're taking us seriously," said Lieutenant Hana from her station. "Good," Juwu replied. "Weapons status. Plasma cannons charge. Missile bays ready. Shield systems at maximum," reported Officer Doyun. Juwu nodded. "Take us in." Evasive pattern Sigma. Target their support vessels first. The massive Earth carrier suddenly changed course, its engines flaring as it dove toward the hegemony fleet. The aliens fired, energy beams and plasma bolts streaking through space. "Incoming fire," Hana called out. "Maintain course," ordered Juwu. She gripped her command chair as the ship shuddered. The shields held. "Shields at 86%, Dohyun announced. "Minimal damage." Juwu allowed herself a small smile. "Return fire. Let's show them what we can do." The Defiance's weapon ports opened, unleashing a barrage that caught the aliens by surprise. 2 smaller hegemony vessels exploded immediately, their shields failing against the Earth weapons. In his command ship, Admiral Taiho slammed his fist on his console. How is this possible? Their weapons technology should be centuries behind ours. His second-in-command looked worried. "Sir, they've adapted our technology. The energy signature matches our own weapons, but the delivery system is different. More efficient." "Impossible," Taiho shouted again. "All ships, concentrate fire on their engines. Disable them." The hegemony fleet adjusted, pouring fire onto the Defiance. The human ship rolled, presenting a smaller target while continuing to fire. Another alien vessel erupted in flames. On the Defiance's bridge, warnings flashed as a hit penetrated their shields. "Port shield down to 40%, called Doyun. "Minor hull breach on deck 12. Repair teams responding." Juwu studied the tactical display. "They're trying to surround us. Helm, take us through their formation. Full speed." The crew looked surprised but followed orders. The massive carrier accelerated directly toward the center of the alien fleet. Admiral Taiho watched in disbelief. "They're charging us. Are these humans insane?" "Sir, they'll be within our formation in 10 seconds, his tactical officer warned. "All ships, Titan formation. Don't let them through." But the Defiance was faster than they anticipated. It crashed through their line, weapons firing in all directions. 3 more hegemony ships exploded, and 2 collided trying to avoid the Earth vessel. As they passed through, Juwu gave her next order: deploy fighters. The sides of the Defiance opened, releasing hundreds of small, agile craft. Unlike the carrier, these were entirely of human design. Small, fast, and piloted by Earth's best. "What are those?" Admiral Taiho demanded as his sensors registered the swarm of fighters. "Small craft, sir," Hundreds of them. They're targeting our weapon systems and engines. The human fighters weaved through the alien ships, firing precision strikes that disabled rather than destroyed. The hegemony vessels, designed to fight capital ships, struggled to target the small, quick fighters. Back on the Defiance, Juwu watched with pride as her plan worked. Bring us around. Target their flagship. The massive carrier turned gracefully and accelerated toward Admiral Taiho's command ship. Sir, the human carrier is approaching. Our forward shields are at 30% after the fighter attacks, reported Taiho's increasingly panicked officer. Taiho saw his fleet in disarray. 8 ships destroyed, 7 disabled, the rest trying to defend against the fighters. And now the carrier was coming for him. Retreat, he ordered quietly. Sir, I said retreat, he shouted. All functioning vessels jumped to safe coordinates. Now, the remaining hegemony ships began to wink out of existence as they engaged their faster-than-light drives. Admiral Taiho took one last look at the human carrier bearing down on his ship before his own vessel jumped away. On the Defiance, cheers erupted as the alien fleet retreated. They're running, Hannah shouted. Juwu didn't join the celebration. Recall the fighters. Check for survivors in the disabled alien ships. Commander, Do-Yun looked confused. They're the enemy. They're also our first contact with galactic civilization. Juwu replied. We need to learn everything we can from them and show them that humans aren't just good at fighting. As the fighters returned and rescue teams prepared to board the disabled alien vessels, Juwu stared at the stars visible through the view screen. This is just the beginning, she said quietly. They'll be back. And next time, they'll be ready for us. Commander Juwu Park walked slowly through the lower decks of the Defiance. 3 weeks had passed since their victory over the hegemony fleet. The ship's engineers had been making repairs, but that wasn't why she was here. She stopped at a sealed door marked Research Section 7 and placed her hand on the scanner. Identity confirmed, the computer announced as the heavy door slid open. Inside, a team of scientists worked around a glowing device that seemed to bend the light around it. Dr. Kim looked up as she entered. Commander, we weren't expecting you, he said nervously. What is this? Juwu asked, pointing to the device. It wasn't in any of the ship's original plans. Dr. Kim hesitated. It's a quantum displacement drive. We found the plans in a hidden part of the alien data from the crashed ship. Juwu frowned. And you built it without authorization. Your grandfather authorized it. Dr. Kim replied quietly. Before he died. He made us promise to keep it secret, even from you, until it was necessary. Juwu stared at the device. It hummed with power she didn't understand. What does it do? It can move the ship instantly across vast distances, much faster than conventional drives. But there's more to it. Dr. Kim lowered his voice. It doesn't just move through space. It can move through possibilities. Before Juwu could ask what that meant, her communicator beeped. Commander, we have a situation in the holding area. Lieutenant Hana's voice reported. One of the alien prisoners is asking to speak with you personally. In the secure holding area, Juwu found a hegemony officer separated from the other prisoners. Unlike Admiral Taiho, this alien had blue-gray skin and seemed younger. I am Captain Minho, he said in careful English. I need to speak with you about why the hegemony fears Earth. We defeated their fleet, Juwu replied. That seems reason enough. Minho shook his head. The attack was ordered before your ship revealed itself. There are factions in the hegemony that opposed it. Your factions didn't stop the attack, Juwu pointed out. We couldn't. The military council overruled us. Minho leaned forward. Do you know why they were so eager to subjugate Earth? It wasn't for resources or territory. It was fear of the prophecy. Juwu crossed her arms. What prophecy? There are ancient texts, predating even the hegemony. They speak of a species that would bring chaos to the ordered galaxy, a species that adapts quickly, that combines technologies in ways never imagined. Minho's eyes fixed on hers. Sound familiar? Ju thought of the quantum drive hidden in the lower decks. Why are you telling me this? Because I believe the prophecy isn't about destruction, but transformation. The hegemony has ruled for 10,000 years. It has grown stagnant, rigid. We need the chaos factor. And that's us. Humans. Minho nodded. The texts describe your world exactly. Blue water, single moon, a species that developed faster than any other. And they mention a great ship that would herald the change. Officer Doyan interrupted them. Commander, we're detecting multiple jumps at the edge of the solar system. The hegemony is back, and they've brought a much larger fleet. Ju turned to leave, but Minho called after her. The ship in the prophecy had a heart that could bend reality. Does your vessel have such a thing? Ju froze, thinking of the quantum displacement drive. She turned back. How would you help us if I trusted you? I know their battle plans, and there are others in the fleet who think like me. We could signal them. Minutes later, on the bridge, Ju studied the incoming enemy fleet. 50 ships this time, including 3 dreadnoughts. They're broadcasting, Hannah announced. A different alien appeared on screen. Older, with deep purple skin covered in ceremonial markings. I am High Commander Kiju of the Hegemony Council, the alien announced. Your defiance is now officially classified as a galactic threat. Surrender your vessel and all technology, or we will be forced to take more severe measures against your planet. Ju glanced at Captain Minho, who now stood on her bridge under guard. He nodded slightly. High Commander, Ju responded, we have no desire for war. But we will not surrender our independence. Then you leave us no choice. The transmission ended. They're deploying into attack formation, reported Doyan. But something's strange. Several ships are moving out of position. Minho smiled. My allies. They're creating gaps in their defense line. Ju made her decision. Contact Dr. Kim. Tell him to prepare the quantum drive. Commander. Hannah looked confused. What quantum drive? The one my grandfather hid on this ship. Ju sat in her command chair. It seems the Defiance isn't just a weapon. According to ancient alien prophecies, it's the key to changing the galaxy. As the enemy fleet approached, Ju felt a strange calm. The Defiance had been built for this moment, not just to defend Earth, but to fulfill a destiny written in texts older than human civilization. All hands, battle stations, she ordered. And prepare for something nobody has ever seen before. The quantum drive hummed deep within the Defiance as Commander Ju Park gave the order. Activate displacement in 3, 2, 1. A strange sensation washed over the crew as space itself seemed to bend. In an instant, the massive carrier vanished from Earth orbit and reappeared directly behind the Hegemony fleet. We're in position, Lieutenant Hannah reported, her voice filled with wonder. It worked. All weapons, fire, Ju ordered calmly. The Defiance unleashed its full arsenal before the alien fleet could react. 4 enemy ships erupted in flames immediately. The rest scrambled to reposition, shocked by the carrier's impossible maneuver. High Commander Kiju's face appeared on the main screen, his purple skin now pale with anger. How did you? This is impossible. Ju didn't respond. Instead, she nodded to Captain Minho. The Hegemony captain stepped forward. This is Captain Minho of House Starborn. To all ships of the Reform faction, now is the time. Disable your weapons and shields. On the tactical display, 12 enemy vessels suddenly powered down their weapon systems. The rest of the fleet began firing on these ships as well as the Defiance. They're calling them traitors, Doyan translated from the enemy communications. Ju nodded. Protect Minho's allies, and send the signal to Earth. Far below, Lieutenant Junho sat in the hidden command center beneath the Pacific Ocean. When the signal from the Defiance arrived, he smiled. It's time. Activate all platforms. Around the planet, what had appeared to be ordinary satellites suddenly came to life. Deployed secretly over the past decade, 300 defensive platforms powered up their weapons. In orbit, High Commander Keiju was shouting orders when one of his officers interrupted. "Sir, we're detecting energy signatures all around the planet." "What?" Keiju turned to the display just as Earth's defensive grid opened fire. The Hegemony fleet was caught in a crossfire between the orbital platforms and the Defiance. Ships began exploding one after another. "Pull back," Keiju ordered. "Focus all fire on the human carrier." The remaining loyal Hegemony ships turned their combined firepower on the Defiance. The carrier's shields blazed as they absorbed the barrage. "Shields at 40%, reported Doyun. "Hull breaches on decks 5 through 8. Juwu gripped her command chair. "Activate the quantum drive again. Random jump, short range." The Defiance vanished once more, reappearing 10,000 kilometers away. But the strain on the experimental drive was becoming clear. Sparks flew from consoles as the ship shuddered. "The drive is overheating," Hana warned. "We can't jump again without risking a complete failure." On the tactical display, Juwu saw the Hegemony fleet regrouping. Despite their losses, they still outnumbered Earth's defenses, and now they were moving into a position to fire on major cities. "They're targeting civilians," Minho said grimly. "It's a last resort tactic. If they can't win, they'll make sure you lose too." Juwu's communicator beeped. "Commander, this is Dr. Kim. The quantum drive can do more than just move the ship. According to the alien data, it can create a displacement field that affects other vessels." "What does that mean?" Juwu asked. "It means we could potentially send their entire fleet somewhere else." "Would it destroy them?" "No," Dr. Kim replied, "but it could remove them from the battle." Juwu looked at Minho. "Your allies are still up there. If we do this, they'll be displaced too." The alien captain nodded. "They knew the risk when they chose to help you. Do what you must to save your world." Juwu made her decision. "Dr. Kim, prepare the drive for a full field displacement. Target the entire Hegemony fleet." As the enemy ships positioned themselves to fire on Earth's cities, the Defiance's quantum drive began to pulse with increasingly bright energy. The ship itself seemed to vibrate as power was diverted from every system. "Drive at maximum capacity," reported Hana. "Field extending." The visible wave of distorted space expanded from the Defiance, washing over the Hegemony fleet. Ship after ship flickered and vanished, including those commanded by Minho's allies. "Where did they go?" Juwu asked when it was done. Dr. Kim's voice came through the communicator, sounding exhausted. "According to the calculations, approximately 2 light years away. It will take them weeks to return, even at their top speed." Cheers erupted across the bridge. Earth was safe, at least for now. Juwu didn't join the celebration. Instead, she stared at the stars through the view screen. "What happened to Kiju's ship?" Doyun checked his sensors. "It's gone with the others, Commander. Except," he paused, "we're detecting a small craft. It looks like an escape pod from the command ship." "Bring it aboard," Juwu ordered. "I think it's time we had a direct conversation with High Commander Keiju about this prophecy and the future of Earth in the galaxy." As the Defiance moved to recover the escape pod, Juwu felt the weight of what they'd accomplished. Earth had stood against the most powerful force in the galaxy and survived. But the real challenge was just beginning. "Send word to Earth's leaders," she told Hana. "The Hegemony will be back, and next time they'll bring everything they have. We need to prepare." The massive hall of the Galactic Council stretched before Commander Juwu Park as she walked forward. The room was filled with representatives from 200 alien species. Many had traveled for weeks to witness this historic moment. 6 months had passed since the Defiance had defeated the Hegemony fleet. High Commander Keiju stood at the center of the hall, his once proud posture now stiff with formal restraint. Beside him stood Captain Minho, now recognized as the leader of the Reform faction. "The Council recognizes Commander Juwu Park of Earth," announced the ancient arbiter who had ruled these proceedings for over a century. Juwu looked around at the assembled representatives. She had never imagined standing here, speaking for all of humanity. The weight of it pressed on her shoulders. Members of the Galactic Council, she began. 6 months ago, the hegemony attacked my world believing we were primitive and defenseless. They were wrong. Murmurs rippled through the hall. Many species had watched recordings of the battles, amazed at how a supposedly pre-FTL civilization had defeated the most powerful military force in the galaxy. But I am not here to boast of our victory, Juwu continued. I am here to propose a new way forward. High Commander Kiju stepped forward. The human speaks of peace after destroying half our fleet. They are dangerous. The prophecy was right. They are the chaos that will unravel our ordered society. Captain Minho responded immediately. Yes, the prophecy was right. But you misunderstood it, as did our ancestors. It never spoke of destruction, but of necessary change. Juwu nodded to Minho, and then addressed the council again. For 10,000 years, the hegemony has maintained order through control. Species that developed too quickly were subjugated. Innovation was carefully managed. But that approach has led to stagnation. She pressed a button on her wrist device, and a hologram appeared above the hall. It showed the quantum displacement drive of the Defiance. This technology was in your records for centuries, but no one developed it because it didn't fit your understanding of physics. Humans looked at it differently. We combined it with our own ideas. That is our strength. We adapt, we experiment, we take risks. The Arbiter leaned forward. And what do you propose, Commander Park? A new relationship, not conquest, not subjugation, but true exchange. Earth will share our approach to problem-solving and innovation. In return, we ask for peaceful integration into galactic society with our independence respected. High Commander Kiju laughed bitterly. You would have us treat you as equals after one lucky victory. Juwu turned to face him directly. It wasn't luck, and we could have destroyed your entire fleet, but we chose not to. Just as we chose not to execute you when we captured your escape pod. The hall fell silent. Many hadn't known that the humans had captured the High Commander. Instead, Juwu continued, we learned from you. We studied your language, your culture, your technology, and we found ways to improve it, just as we found friends among your people. She nodded toward Minho. From the back of the hall, a new voice spoke. The human speaks truth. I have witnessed their methods firsthand. Dr. Kin walked forward, accompanied by a team of alien scientists. They carried devices that many council members recognized, but different, improved. In just 6 months, Dr. Kim explained, we have enhanced your medical scanners to detect diseases earlier. We have improved your communication systems to work across greater distances, and we have developed new farming methods that could end hunger on 17 worlds. The council representatives began to talk excitedly among themselves. The Arbiter raised a hand for silence. What you offer is impressive, Commander Park, but the prophecy speaks of great change. Change can be frightening. Juwu smiled. All growth requires change. All progress requires risk. For too long, the galaxy has chosen safety over possibility. We offer a middle path, human creativity guided by your wisdom and experience. High Commander Kiju stared at her for a long moment. Then, surprisingly, he bowed his head slightly. The hegemony has ruled for 10 millennia. Perhaps it is time for something new. Captain Minho stepped forward to stand beside Juwu. My people call it the renewal. The texts always said it would come, not as an ending, but as a beginning. The Arbiter nodded slowly. The Council will need to consider this proposal carefully. But I believe we are witnessing the fulfillment of the ancient words. The chaos factor has arrived, not to destroy but to transform. As the Council began its deliberations, Juwu received a message from Earth. The first human colony ships were ready to depart, guided by alien allies who had chosen to help them. Standing in the great hall of a civilization far older than human history, Juwu thought of her grandfather who had first discovered the alien wreckage and of the Defiance, the ship that had shocked the galaxy. We did it, she whispered to herself. We found our place among the stars. And in the years that followed, as human innovation spread throughout the galaxy, bringing new solutions to ancient problems, the Defiance remained a symbol, not of war, but of the moment when humanity rewrote the rules and changed the course of galactic history forever.